Today on the channel from the Masters of the Universe Origins collection, we hail the evil horde with the evil pit of gruesome ooze, the Fright Pit.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another He-Man and the Masters Universe Origins unboxing and review. And today we got one a lot of people have been wanting for a heck of a long time. Don't call it the Slime Pit, call it the Fright Pit. But for all your Fright Pit needs and a whole lot more, make sure you hit up Entertainment Earth. Use the link in the description down below to support the channel. And you know by now, we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And this one kind of came out of the blue. We knew there was probably a chance this was going to come, but it just kind of showed up is what it felt like. There was no grand reveal. There was no San Diego Comic-Con reveal, anything like that. It was just, hey, here we go, along with that new 4-pack of Subternia Warriors, I guess. I think it was that what it was packed, the battle pack. We're unboxing that on the channel as well. So check out all the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe unboxings on the channel. 'Tis the season with the movie, as we know. But this is going to be an interesting one here. It's another play set, which is always fun to get. I never had the Slime Pit originally, and now it is the Fright Pit, so I guess I'll never have the Slime Pit in my collection. I'm guessing there's some legal reasons for the name change. That's usually what it comes down to. Follow the money at the end of the day, as we always do say. I'm sure that's part of it, but a lot of people have been wanting this one. Going to be very interested to see how this one is here. And I kind of stayed away from, I don't know if spoilers is the right word, but I didn't want to find out what this did and all the kind of stuff. I didn't really look at the pictures outside of, hey, pre-order, I'm going to order. There we go. I kind of stayed away. So I wanted to kind of be immersed in it when I do get it out of the package without any kind of spoiler alerts or anything like that. So the more you know, folks, the more you know. We're going to dive into it here. Very slim box on this one, not terribly big. I'm guessing I'm going to have to put this together, as we know. But we got quite the battle raging on the front. The artwork always next level on these. You got the Horde logo, the He-Man Masters Universe logo, Fright Pit, the evil pit of gruesome ooze. We got Beastman, who got the ooze on him. It turned him against Skeletor. Hard times, of course. Looks like Two Bads getting a shower there. Got Montana just peeking over the top. Always just creeping that Montana up there. And then I don't know who these two ladies are. I'm not sure if they're faceless, nameless, or I just don't know the characters. Not sure. Man, oh man, that's one I really want. I'm honestly shocked we haven't got him yet in the Origins with the Slime Pit He-Man. We got to get that one eventually. Hopefully. Get a little product image down here. Masters Universe Fright Pit. We got the Horde act there in the background with some unnamed bots. Maybe we'll get those as a pack eventually. A very evil looking Buzz Off over here. Looks like he's been pitted. Slime pitted, that is. He got slimed like a good friend of the channel, making his return to the couch after a couple of weeks on vacation. Not vacation, just day off. It is, of course, Double Dare's own Mark Summers on the couch once again. Todd, you making room for Mark. Mark deserves to be here. But a lot of people say, where's Mark? And you show up every once in a while, especially when you're on vacation and sometimes like today on your days off. But good to have Double Dare's own Mark Summers, who currently is working at the Mall of America up there in Minnesota at the Double Dare booth. So if you head to the Double Dare booth up there at the Mall of America, you might run into Mark Summers unless he's on break over at the Cinnabon, which happens daily. Let's be honest, Mark. Let's be honest. But shout out to Mark Summers out there. How about a physical challenge for old time's sake? Mark, looking good though. I would not be shocked if they don't do like a translucent pack of slimed characters. You could get the Beastman, Buzz Off. You already got the molds. You just make them in translucent plastic. Really writes itself. Really writes itself. And then we got the background with the figures, which is always extra cool here. This just reminds me of the old Sears catalog days, JCPenney's catalogs, Richmond Gordman, Kay's merchandise, service merchandise. We could go on for days. Looking very good, though, on the back. What's it say back here? The fearsome Lord Hordak develops a dastardly scheme to transform heroes into mind-controlled monsters. Can the Masters of the Universe fight his horrible ooze, or will they become trapped, compelled to obey Hordak's every whim? Very cool on the back here. Reminds me a lot of you sliming people in Double Dare back in the day, Mark Summers. Todd, you can chime in if you want. But I think it changed people. I've heard from people that said once they got slimed, they were changed forever. There was something in that slime that did something to their body chemistry or something. I heard that. And I went to Universal Studios once when I was a little kid. Did I ever tell you about the time I was on that great TV show, That's My Dog? Yes, I was on That's My Dog. Look it up, the Family Channel once upon a time. They'd bring in judges from the audience, and they said, anybody want to be a judge? And I couldn't get my hand up there fast enough. And of course, cute little like 8-year-old Kyle, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, whatever I was, 28-year-old. I don't know if I was that old, but they called me in there and they said, you're going to be this judge and give your honest thoughts and all this. And I immediately thumbs down everything. I was like the worst judge ever. I wasn't giving these dogs any kind of, any leniency, anything like that. I would love it if I could find that show. I've been looking forever. I don't know if I'll ever be able to find it, but can you imagine? Why didn't I record that? I guess I didn't have it, and I'm getting on my soapbox here, or I'm getting on my Fright box is what it is. But back when it was on the Family Channel, it's like I should have just recorded it every time it was on in the hopes of getting it. But like I never knew when it was going to air or any of that kind of stuff. And for all I know, maybe it never aired. Maybe they said, yeah, we're not going to air that kid. He went off on his own adventure. And that's where the beginnings of Choose Your Own Adventure probably did start along the way. But can I get this guy out of the package? I'm sorry to go so far off the rails here, top and front. There's just people tuning out left and right, I'm sure. Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff in here. I didn't think it was going to be this much of an adventure. Quite the adventure here. See you later. Goodbye. Watch out. Making a mess. See you later. Goodbye. Oh my gosh, this is real. I can't believe this. There's no way. Look at this. We got a pack of ooze. I was not expecting this, and it's kind of warm. I don't know what's going on with this, but we got ooze in a little Ziploc baggie. My goodness, I don't know. We got some cardboard. See you later. Goodbye. Well, I'm going to take all this offline, and I'm going to get all this out, and I'm going to put this bad boy together. We'll be back talking all things Fright Pit. All right, let's dive into this Fright Pit. How about? Don't call it the slime pit. Don't want any lawyers on us here. And of course, we'll take the physical challenge from Mark Summers on the couch. But let's dive into it. Pretty easy to put together. Really didn't need instructions. You can't put the hands in wrong. They have a little like slider thing in there so you'll know which one goes which spot. So you slide these two hands in. There's a little neck piece. You plug that in, and then you plug the head in, and voila, you got this bad boy put together. Pretty darn easy, all things considered. Now on the bottom, there is a spot here. You get a Phillips head screwdriver. Unscrew that. Find yourself 3 AAA batteries. Put them in here, and voila, you got light for your slime pit. And that is basically it. But I was thrown for a loop, a curve. It got me. It confused me. And Mark Summers, you know a little bit about this slime. But we do got Masters Universe slime here. Expires January 28th, 2030 is what this expires. I do not like this at all. I hate this, in all honesty. I don't want anything to do with this. I wish this didn't come with this. I hate this kind of stuff. And it goes back to childhood trauma for me with my Ghostbusters collection as a little kid. Kenner Ghostbusters, you guys know about it, boys, on there? Okay, we all know about it. But I had the ooze or the ectoplasm, I guess, from the Ghostbusters. And it used to come in jars. And shame on Mattel. This should have came in a jar of some kind, not some baggie. This looks just weird coming in a baggie like this. I don't like it. Should have came in a jar, but neither here nor there. But I remember as a kid putting that in my Firehouse playset. You know, you dump it down there. It would ooze down there. And it felt like for years after I was chipping away pink, like dried up slime that I couldn't get removed or I missed it, whatever. I'm a kid. I shouldn't have all this responsibility. And trying to clean that mess up for so many years. Now, I never had the slime pit back in the day, so I don't have to deal with it. I'm sure it was a similar situation. And in the instructions, there's all kinds of warning. Make sure you wipe stuff down. Don't put your Moss Man in here. Don't get it in the carpet, all that kind of fun stuff. This is just a disaster waiting to happen. And we shouldn't have this responsibility as collectors, parents, kids. I don't care. I don't care how fun it is. It's all fun and games until you put it in here. It's looking really good. And then Kyle just absolutely knocks it off the table. Next thing you know, it's all in my carpet. It's just a disaster. So I feel like I'm shortchanging this review by not dumping it. You're supposed to dump it in the back of his head. You open the mouth, you turn it, and it starts oozing down. I'm shortchanging the review by not doing it, but I'm not going to do it. That's where I'm at. Maybe I'll get a wild hair in me and do it for the glamour shots. I am not doing it right here, and most likely I will not do it at all. Just too many childhood traumas about that, and too many times seeing my old mentor over here on the couch, Mark Summers, sliming people left and right in Double Dare. Just too much trauma. I can't do it. But it just feels like this is going to be a sticky mess, and it's very heavy liquidy. Obviously, it's liquid. I feel this should be thicker, too. I'm just feeling it in here. I feel like it should be thicker. It's a little too watery, a little too runny. I like a thicker load is what I like. That's for sure. Kyle likes thick loads. Somebody cut that, but there it is. I do appreciate the colors on this. Looks like slime, but this is just not for me. Not for me. Sorry, not for me. But enough of my slime here. Let's talk about this bad boy here. Now, I guess we'll start with the head. We'll start and work our way down. Almost reminds me of the Battle Bones. Anybody have the Battle Bones carrier when they were a kid? I did. I used to use that in my battles once upon a time. But it looks like you got the head right up here. It does open very easily. Goes all the way up. You got the teeth. You got the skull. You got the eye sockets, nose sockets. Looking very nice. And as I said, there's a hole in the back. You just dump that slime in. You turn that head down, and bam, it just starts leaking out into the character. It gets into every crevasse, Todd McFarlane. It gets into all of that. It's just a mess you don't want to deal with, trust me. But I do like that. It does turn back, forth, side to side. You could almost pretend it's a villain. It's its own thing. It's its own breathing entity. You could have that if you want to. So that does look good. On the back, looks something very cool here. Looks like basically like a mausoleum type thing, maybe. Maybe it's from the movie Mausoleum Once Upon a Time. Shout out to that movie, an all-timer. You got Hordak's logo there. You got the brick wall. And you got the nice red colors. Very dingy, very dirty, very dark, very evil, dare I say, with this one here. Then you get into the hands. You get the same bone tone. We'll call it the bone tone again. With these hands do move. And you could use these as, like, if I said, you have this a moving entity. It could be attacking people. You could be fighting people with it, do all that kind of stuff. But then you got the little levers, LeVar Burton. Levers over here, and you turn those. You can choose, capture somebody, do whatever you want to do. Move them around, looking pretty darn good there. Then we do got the rock formation down here on the bottom. Very cool, very nice, rocky, and then it looks like he's got a little hot tub in here. It looks like a little hot tub full of green liquid, but I do like the translucent liquid inside of here. I think that does look good. Now, on the rock sides over here, you do got some peg stands, so you can put some characters on here. You can put them in there. They got the peg holes. You also got a peg hole at the bottom of the pool down here as well. Looking very, very nice. I don't have any problems with that. Now, you do put the batteries in at the bottom, as I did mention, but on the side, there's a little rock button. You hit the rock, and then it'll turn on. You can kind of see that glowing there. I'll get some better pictures for the glamour shot, obviously. But you do get a little flicker of the light. Hit it again. It does a little bit different. Or is it just on and off, I guess? There's on. There's off. On. Slowly lights up. Off, maybe. Yep, off, and slowly lights down. So a little bit of options there. Yeah, it'll look good if you have this on in the dark, of course, and you turn this on, and all of a sudden He-Man's in here. And speaking of He-Man, I did grab He-Man, but I said, I want to get a dark He-Man. So I grabbed the Target exclusive Stranger Things crossover He-Man, an interesting one. But you put him in here. I think that is one that kind of looks like he could fit in this little world. And then all of a sudden, oh no, he's caught. He's trapped. He's got these claws getting him. So we got that going on. And then you got Hordak in the background. It's Smiley Hordak. There's a lot of different Hordaks we've had, but this is the smiling face Hordak. He's up here just really watching from afar. He's a little peeping Tom is what he is up to here. But you do got Hordak. You do got that. Not a bad piece of business for a play set here. I never longed for the old one, as I mentioned. I never had it, and I never felt like there was like a lot of kids say, man, if I would have had that aircraft carrier when I was a kid, my life would have changed forever. And let me tell you, as a kid that had the aircraft carrier, it changed my life forever to this day. I got an homage to it right on the wall over there. But I don't feel that same love for the slime pit. I had Snake Mountain. I had Castle Grayskull. I was pretty good with that. I didn't have the Fright Zone. I didn't have the slime pit. But it is what it is. Going to be great for the little kids that are still buying Origins or into this kind of thing. They can make a mess all day long. There's a lot of kids that like this gooey stuff. I know about slime. Let me tell you, my kids went through a slime phase for years. I'm still picking slime up out of this house, it feels like, on a daily basis. So there is a market for this, and this could be something that ties those slime-loving kids into something like this. So I don't know. It really depends on your preferences here, but I just can't bring myself to use this. I just can't bring myself. I don't want my figures all stickied. I don't want this all over. I don't want to have to be sitting here peeling all this off of He-Man. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to have anybody. And I know, Mark Summers, you're right. Slime's come a long way since the 80s, but I don't trust it. I still don't trust it. I'm sorry. I just don't. I'm not gonna. But all in all, a fun play set for what it is. Is it a must-have? I wouldn't say so. But if you're building out your Horde universe, speaking of, got something special right here. The old Fright Zone. We unboxed this on the channel a year ago. What is time? It's funny, it does say on the back of the package, put these two together like they connect, but they do not connect in any way. I guess you just stick them together and you're kind of building out a little bit of a playset universe, whatever you want to be. But cool nonetheless. Now you got all the different corners. You got Eternia, you got Gray Skull, you got Snake Mountain, and now you got the Fright Zone and the Fright Pit, Slime Pit, whatever you feel like calling it. Fright Pit, I guess, technically now. But it is cool to get these together, I guess, and you can build out a little more of the universe for He-Man and the Masters of the Universe here. And the Slime Pit taking center stage here today. But I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on the Slime Pit. If you're like me, you don't want anything to do with the slime, I don't know, I just don't. I can just see it, though. If I showed this to my kids, they'd be like, open it up, let's open it up. And then I'm going to be the fun hater that says, not going to open this up, I'm not going to do it. I don't know. It's a mental problem. We'll have to go to the doctor later, Mark and Todd. We'll see what happens there. But your thoughts on this Fright Pit in the comments down below. Is this a pickup for you? A pass? A long game? A not so sure game? A no game? Let me know in the comments, of course. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and my other YouTube channel. 2 YouTube channels with content each and every single day. Check out YouTube channel memberships. Check out Patreon for even more content, exclusive videos, and all kinds of stuff. And your best way to support the channel. SirPaul64 is where you'll find me on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, TheKylePetersonShow @gmail.com if you want to email me. And of course, the Kyle Peterson Show podcast, available every Tuesday, wherever podcasts are found, with videocast on YouTube. So for the Horde, Fright Pit, He-Man, Skeletor, Slime Pit, and all points in between, I am Kyle, and I'll see you guys all real soon.
Are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?